Can you imagine this? A Chinese deep-sea fishing vessel spent 8 months sailing in the South Pacific. During the voyage, crew members began to die, disappear, go insane, one by one. And when the ship finally returned to port, only 11 out of the original 33 crew members were still alive. So what happened to the other 22? Was it disease? Accidents? Or something far more disturbing? This is one of the most chilling maritime mass death cases in modern Chinese history. This is the story of Lu Rongyu 2682. At first things seemed normal. But as the ship sailed deeper into the South Pacific, strange events began to occur. One crew member suddenly lost his mind, stripped naked, and ran across the deck screaming, shouting things like, "There's a ghost on the ship," and "Something's coming for us." Then one night, a young sailor suddenly jumped overboard. His clothes were neatly folded at his bedside. The captain ordered a full search, but nothing was ever found. From that day on, the atmosphere on board changed completely. It was no longer just a fishing voyage. It felt like something darker had begun. According to the only man later convicted, Captain Sun Pengfei, a brutal hierarchy formed on board. The captain, first officer, chief engineer, and cook formed an inner circle, controlling the food, drinking water, and radio communications. Ordinary crew members were fed moldy, steamed buns, and forced to drink seawater mixed with salt. One sailor was tied to the mast and left in the sun for half a day, just for stealing a piece of bread. The crew was no longer a team. They had become masters and subjects. Weaker, defiant, or isolated crew members started to have accidents. One was beaten and locked in the freezer room. He never came out. Another died from illness. His body was tossed overboard without a single word. None of it was logged, reported, or explained. Some started planning how to escape. Some considered jumping into the ocean. And others began calculating how to survive. After 8 months at sea, the ship returned with just 11 survivors. 22 men were dead. The survivors were emaciated, traumatized, and silent. The causes of death varied wildly. Suicide, drowning, fever, mental breakdown, and accidents. But there were no complete logs. No official accounts. Several crew members' deaths had no confirmed time, place, or cause. Some weren't even listed in the logs by name. There were rumors that some had starved, some had been beaten to death, and others had been disposed of. Even worse, some whispered that human blood had been found in the fish freezer. Had someone been used as resource? We may never know. In July 2011, when Lu Rongyu 2682 returned to port, Chinese authorities immediately launched an investigation. In the end, only the captain, Sun Pengfei, was convicted. He was charged with negligent homicide and sentenced to 6 years in prison. All other survivors were released without criminal charges. Families of the deceased received monetary compensation, but no complete death reports, and no public investigation results. The Lu Rongyu 2682 became a symbol of collective silence. 22 lives vanished into the salty winds of the Pacific Ocean, without answers. This isn't fiction. This is a real event, recorded in court documents and logbooks. There was no war, no storm, only the terrifying reality of being trapped in a floating hell. We may never know what those men endured in their final moments. Perhaps they died from hunger, oppression, or fear. Or perhaps they died because humanity collapsed in isolation. And that very ship, Lu Rongyu 2682, freshly repainted and renamed, is still sailing somewhere out at sea. What do you think happened out there? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for more stories the world tried to forget.